March Madness is upon us. And if you don't know anything about March Madness, I'm here to teach you. This is March Madness for Dummies. Now, first thing I want to talk about is brackets. What is a March Madness bracket? Well, a March Madness bracket is 1 through 16 teams and 4 different sides. So you have your 4 conferences. Each conference gets their own 1 through 16 bracket. The conferences are the West, the East, the Midwest, and the South. Now, for example, I'm going to use the East Conference right here. Pretend this is the East. Now, each conference gets their first round. Now, the first round start off with the 1 seed, the 2 seeds down here, the 16 seed, 15 seed, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 14, 13, 12, and 9. Now, if you're wondering what those numbers are, those are the seeds. Now, those seeds are picked on Selection Sunday. Each team is ranked based off of their win percentages and what teams they've played. So, 1 seed this year most likely will be Houston. So, I'll use Houston as an example for my 1 seed. Now, Houston will play against a 16 seed, a team that's not very good and probably just barely made it in the tournament. So, they'll play in the first round. And the winner of this game moves ahead forward to what's called the round of 32. Now, each of these teams battle it out, and winner of 1 game moves on to the next round. So then, these teams play each other, the teams matching down. Now, that's the round of 32, where all these teams battle it out, and the winner moves on to the next round, which is the Sweet 16. And again, they battle it out. Winner moves on. Winner moves on to the Elite 8. And the winner of the Elite 8 moves on to the Final 4. Now, the Final 4 is when teams from all the conferences meet up. So you have another conference over here, 2 conferences on this side. They'll meet up, and they'll play in the Final 4. And the winner of those games, which then they battle out, goes to the championship game, and the winner of the championship game moves on. A bracket is something that you're allowed to fill out by going to marchmadness.com, ESPN.com. They all have brackets that you can fill out, and it's not betting, it's free. So don't worry about that. Now, you get to choose every single game based off of who wins. And if you get one wrong, don't worry about it. The other team just fills in for their spot. And the odds of you getting a perfect bracket are like 1 in 9 quintillion, 223 quadrillion, 372 trillion, 36 billion, 854 million, 775,808. But there are some strategies that can get you really close to getting that right. Like maybe just a couple more picks right. And a lot of people have their own strategies to get them right, like their favorite mascot or whatever team they like or just anything dumb like that. Some people just pick just because they can. But there are some really good ways to get a better option. So my favorite way to do it is to go on the March Madness app and look at the stats that they give you for each team, which is offensive points per game and defensive points per game. Also, free throw percentage is huge in March Madness because most of the games are very, very close. So offensive points per game gives you each team's points per game, how many points a game they score on average. And the defensive points per game, which is also a huge thing, is about how many points per game their opponent scores. And then free throw percentage is how good they shoot at the free throw line. And let me tell you, free throw percentage is ginormous in these games. There have been so many games all the way down to the wire, and just free throw percentage is ginormous. So those are some great stats that you might need to look at. Now the next thing is an upset. An upset is a huge thing in March Madness. An upset is when a lower team beats a higher team. So for example, when 3 faces 14, the 14 seed upsets them and beats them to move on to the next round. And this happens a lot in March Madness. So don't go ahead and just pick in the 1 seed all the way to the Final 4 and all the way to the championship game, because it just doesn't work. Last year, a 15 seed made it all the way to the Elite 8, which is huge. So that does happen a lot. Also, this year, the 1 seeds have not been very consistent, with only a few teams staying at 1 for like 2 weeks. So I would really look at the stats. It's gonna help you out ginormously. While Selection Sunday hasn't happened yet, I can still give you a little bit of rundown on my prediction to who I think is going to win it. Now, my favorites right now are the Houston Cougars. They just have such a great defensive presence on the court that this team is just going to play absolutely strong throughout the tournament. But Right there with them is Alabama, because they have a very strong bench, great scorers, and they actually beat Houston during the regular season. So good luck with your perfect brackets, and have a fun March Madness.